Welcome to After Dark at the Fixed Ops Roundtable, featuring Cara Delane and Ted Ings. This episode is brought to you by BG Products, partners beyond products. And now for your hosts, Ted Ings and Cara Delane.
Welcome, everyone, to After Dark at the Fixed Ops Roundtable. Check out all of these amazing people we got. We got a full house tonight, Ted.
Yes, and is that Santa's helper I see there, Cara?
It sure is. You know, I'm just fitting in with the chameleon thing, that Tony Owens gave me.
Tony Owens did give
I'm
you that.
Santa tonight.
Tonight you are the chameleon once again, Cara Delane. So we have an amazing group of featured guests with us tonight. And by the way, before I forget, we're live tonight, right?
We are live on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. So hopefully everybody watching will give us some comments down below. If you have any questions for anybody on the screen, feel free to ask it in the comments.
All right, cool. And I want to introduce our panel tonight. Robert Sebastian, who is the founder of gravitationalbusiness.com. Cara, Robert has been with us since the very first Fixed Ops Roundtable in New York City in my office 3.5 years ago, and has been a speaker out at the New Jersey one in Los Angeles. Robert, and you going to play the guitar for us tonight or what?
Well, this one you can't hear. I don't have it plugged in, but I could pick one up.
Oh.
Cara, he has actually entertained the Fixed Ops Roundtable and got out there and got the music going and got everybody's foot tapping, and he's pretty incredible. So, Robert, we're honored to have you. Welcome tonight. Joe Clemente is in the house from Mobility. Joe, Mobility Works, is that correct?
Mobility Works, that's right.
So years ago, I did, I think I told you, some work with a company called Rideaway. Now that's part of what you do today, right?
That's correct. We're the world's largest provider of wheelchair adaptable equipment and wheelchairs for clients with disabilities.
Wow.
I love it. I love it. We'll talk a little bit about that tonight. Honored to have you here. Steve Hill from I-10 Toyota out in California. Steve, welcome.
Thanks, Ted. Always a pleasure.
Hey, you got a great big store. We got a lot to talk about tonight. Excited about that. Cindy Reynolds, you and I have been friends now for a number of years. First time on the Fixed Ops Roundtable After Dark. Welcome.
It is. Thank you. It's a pleasure. Thanks, Ted.
Hey, excited to have you. I'm going to come over to Robert Miggs because I want to make sure Sean's got his camera ready to go. Robert, how are you tonight from Carter Myers?
I'm doing well, Ted. Cara, thank you for having me on again.
Hey, thank you. And another great friend of the Roundtable, Cara, is John Frazier. He's been on, I know, many times before. John came out to our Los Angeles Roundtable and was one of the, after Tully Williams won the best practice, I think John was second in line that day to win. Welcome, John.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Hey, good to have you here. And everyone knows Sean Butler. Sean, what are you doing there?
He's like doing cartwheels.
Yeah, I guess he is. All right. So, Sean, can you hear me? Are you all right there? All right. We're not sure. We'll find out. And Tony Owens is in the house tonight. He says, Robert, my man. So good stuff. By the way, I want to do a quick shout out to our exclusive sponsor tonight. It is BG Products, partners beyond products. And we are very grateful to BG for all that they do at our industry. And Cara, I noticed that both Sean and Robert have the cowboy hats going. Tell us a little bit about what that's all about.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm not the only one sporting a cowboy hat every single day, guys. So thank you for that. They're gearing up for the Fixed Ops Roundtable, the Wild West, that's coming up shortly this January 23rd, 24th, 25th, and 26th. So our first ever 4-day virtual event is going to be happening in January. So make sure you get your complimentary tickets, guys, at fixedopsroundtable.com. And we encourage the cowboy hats and the Western wear.
Yes, we do. And a lot of exciting things coming up at that event. And we are very much looking forward to that. Owen Moon, good evening. Good to see you. And I agree. It is a great group. So, Steve, you and I and Joe and Robert were involved with a panel just yesterday on customer retention. Let's talk about that. But before we do, tell us a little bit about your store, I-10 Toyota. Give us a little bit of the lay of the land, and then we'll get into that.
We're out by Palm Springs, California, Southern California, out in the desert. Real growing area. Used to be a lot of snowbirds and a place to retire. And now folks have caught on to the fact that it's 80 degrees during the wintertime. So nice place to live. And yeah, we have 43 techs, 13 current advisors, about to go back up to 14. And we're growing faster than we expected. So it's great problems to have.
It is. And, when I was in retail, I think the first winter I went into training and consulting, I had an assignment in Palm Springs. Okay. And I got to go out there, and I could not believe in February how nice the weather was. And, it made me say to myself, I'm never going to go back to retail after that. Right.
Absolutely. It's gorgeous out here that time of year.
So you got a big store, you got a lot going on. Talk to us a little about customer retention and some of the things that you do that I know, Mike Vogel has told me there's a lot of unique things that you do and have done at your dealership.
Well, I'm a firm believer that customer retention is that's our future. And customer retention starts with employee retention. And if you have employees that are satisfied, they're happy to come to work. That resonates with the guests. They like seeing the same face over and over again. They like building that relationship. And that's my big encouragement. I see it as we have internal and external customers. Our employees are internal customers. And what are we doing to retain those internal customers? Are they excited to represent your company, your dealership? Is that message getting out? And every time they interact with somebody, that smile, that glee, you can't fake that. And that translates right over into a great customer experience.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Robert Sebastian, I know that you're passionate about this topic as well.
You know that song that I sang at the Fixed Ops Roundtable? It was "Have I Told You Lately That I Love You?" And I actually was singing about customers, right? Have we told them lately how much we care for them? Obviously, I'm known as the under my care guy, which, you want your clients to feel that you really care so deeply that you look out for their best interest. And if we don't accomplish that, then we're sliding backwards on the loyalty scale. The loyalty scale, you slide forward if your customer is making a decision that you are their car guy for life. Hey, back in my retail days, I was with Kia. And the Kia dealer across town shut down. They put Kia together with the Jaguar customers. They had them in the same shop. And guess what they did? The Jaguar service advisors didn't want to serve the Kia ones. So they shut down the Kia franchise. They gave it back to Kia. So all these customers were left abandoned. So I talked to my service advisors, and Kia came out with a recall right about that time. And said, service advisors, when these people show up, let's roll out the red carpet. Let's go out there and hug them. Well, not necessarily literally, but hug them in the way we welcome them and make them wonder, why didn't we come here before now? If they didn't know about us, if they've never been in our shop, I want them to ask themselves the question, wow, why didn't I know about this service up to this moment? And we did. And Nugent was our direct mail company. And the Nugent rep kept asking me, how do you have these retention numbers? Well, first of all, a huge welcome. Welcome people as if they were your grandma that was locked up for 2 years for COVID and you didn't see her. And then the other thing that we did, we keep our time and pricing promises. When I first started at this dealership, the service advisors every afternoon had to apologize for differences in taxes, shop supplies, things like that. And we said, guys, the next time that happens, you got two choices. You pay the difference or you don't come back the next day. No third choice. And we went 100% accuracy on our estimates. No more differences. So customers love it. They love it when you tell them you do something and you actually do it. It's not rocket science. In fact, it's so easy to differentiate yourself. We keep thinking, how can we differentiate ourselves? Let's leave a rose on every seat, right? Well, anybody can do that. But you can leave all the roses you want if you miss the promised time and the customers just drove an hour across town and their vehicle's not ready. And we could have communicated. Now that happens every now and then, and your loyal customers will forgive you. But hey, let's slide those customers forward on the loyalty scale to where they're fully connected. A fully connected customer is a customer who's made the decision. I will never abandon you. I will always come to you because you love me so much, you care for me so much, and you offer me complete care.
Kara, how does that sound to you?
I mean, that's what I preach at our dealership. So it starts with our employees here, and we hope, you know, our mantra that I say every single day is that we're your dealer for life. So if you can structure everything around that, then you've got it made.
Now, just to be sure, just so I'm not misunderstood, when I told my guys they can't come back the next day, I want them to come back the next day. And we ate a lot together with my team. We ate so much together. It's crazy. We got to know each other. We had this awesome team environment. So certainly everybody came back the next day. Everybody said, you know what, let's just do exceptional customer service like Ritz-Carlton.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we got a lot of people in the chat tonight, and it's been tough to acknowledge everybody, but thank you, everybody. Thank you, Katie. See you there. Joe Clementi, we have a panel coming up at the next Fixed Ops Roundtable. Robert is on there with you. I know one of the things he's going to be talking about is the importance of that greeting. He just gave us a little bit of a taste of that, okay? Joe, you're very passionate on this topic of customer retention as well and dealership culture. Talk to us a little bit about that and why that is so important, and probably even more so important with a lot of the facilities and organizations that you work with as well.
Yeah, listen, everybody that has spoken so far talked about the key people indices, right? The KPIs, the people that drive the business are your culture. Your culture is your lifeblood. Your culture is what drives from internally to the external environment. And if you have the right culture, it starts with one thing, defining your why. And if we are in an environment where the culture says the priority is profitability, then profitability is where your focus will be. But if the culture is around the client, if the culture is around the experience, it starts with your teammates. Because when you treat them right, the effect, the end result is the customers feel it. They feel that they're more valuable than just being a ticket, right? When they come into the shop or come into the environment and they get an RO written, they want to be more than just a number. Regardless of what the event is, they want to matter. And it starts with culture. You got to define your why. Kara, you said it very, very well, right? You're a dealership for life. But what does that mean? And does everybody know what that means? For us, it is providing the freedom and mobility to help people go where they want to go, when they want to go, particularly those clients that are in wheelchairs. Our focus is the team first, the client second. And I think that resonates in everything you do. It starts with your culture. It's your lifeblood.
Joe, Mobility Works, give us a little bit of the background. How many locations, where, and tell us a little bit about that.
So we have 96 locations, soon to be 98, across 32 different states in the United States, obviously. So across 32 different states, we have 232 technicians that work for us across the country. And our environments are smaller, right? But that gives us a more personal touch with our individual clients. So we are, as I said, the nation's largest provider of wheelchairs, accessible vehicles, wheelchairs, accessible driving aids, and driving equipment for those clients with disabilities.
And I remember that was the most important thing I remember hearing in the training, that vehicle that provided freedom, and freedom, the ability to get around and move around was paramount. And that I will probably never forget that. And a lot of the memories, as I go around the country, and service advisors who have a lot of excuses on why they can't do things. And I remember I was at a New Hampshire location when I did some of the training, and just seeing the customers all in wheelchairs, all rolling out either the side or the back of the vehicle and going through the whole process. And I said to myself, if we can do this in this environment, certainly most any dealership can do it as well. And, Joe, that always has stuck with me. So I'm very impressed with what you and the organization do.
Thank you. And listen, we're really no different than all of you, except for the difference is our clients need their transportation. It's not a want, it's a need. And for us, it's vital we deliver that value. And the value proposition is we care about our teammates, our employees, and they ultimately care about our clients. And I think everyone so far has spoken about that. I'm sure everybody on the panel agrees. It starts with people. The key KPI is key people indices. It's not performance. Performance is an end result.
So, John Frazier, you came to your organization a little while back, and you're a clear example of how the people make all the difference, because, you know, it has started with, of course, the owners, and then you, and then having the right people and the right processes in place. John, kind of take us through your journey, if you don't mind, because, you know, you've really led by example these last few years.
Yeah. When I got there, retention was probably the furthest thing from the service drive's mind. It was really scary to witness day in and day out. Like Robert talks about having care for the customer, that was just non-existent at that store. And it's crazy to see that a store can go that far. And I totally agree with what Steve's talking about when it comes to retention. What Robert's talking about with caring for the customer, and Joe's talking about culture and all these things that drive retention. But I think we got to look deep and look further back to when we hired the employee to fill that customer facing role. I take very seriously the success and the failure of any of my team. And when somebody fails, I have to ask myself a couple of questions. Did I give that person all the tools and the training and the resources and everything they need to be the best? Or did I make a bad hire? And, you know, you can't ever really tell who you got in front of you when you're interviewing. You know, internally, I always think I've got 90 days to figure out if I like this person. So we put them to the test really quick. But I've found in hiring people, man, one of the best ways to hire advisors, and I've done it most recently at this store, is doing group interviews. We do group interviews for advisors. It's really interesting to see how people will interact with complete strangers. You'll get a good idea really quick how they'll interact with your customers. And from that group, we'll cull it down to a smaller group, and then we'll have individual interviews. And man, I've got a guy right now who's been with us literally for a month, and God bless him. I don't know that this guy could take a lug nut off of his car or that he knew anything about cars. But inside of a month of going through my training program, he's surpassed one of my top advisors. And we've got 6 advisors, and there's 3 in the top, and he's number 2. And it's because he's doing everything the way that we asked, the way that we trained, right from the start. So I believe you've got to hire properly, and then you've got to have a solid training. You've got to be passionate about training. And I'm out there on the drive with these guys. I'm in their business every single day. I know as much about their tickets as they know. And it's important for me, to do that, because I don't want to be disconnected. I think as we all know, customer retention is just a reflection of employee satisfaction. And if I'm not available and I'm not around to help them when they're struggling with something, when they're in the midst of the battle and they're on the service drive and cars are piling up and porters aren't available, then these guys they're struggling. They're not happy, and they're not happy with what they're doing, and my customers aren't going to be happy. So, man, I think you got to look back at how we hire and who are we putting in front of our customers.
Cindy, you and I have talked a number of times about Ed Roberts and the experience at Bozard Ford Lincoln. But Cindy, this has got to be refreshing to listen to some of these voices on the panel and hear about all the progress our industry has made, especially over the last couple of years.
Yes, it's very exciting. And what's exciting is what I'm hearing is people are thinking beyond the transactional relationship. And, you know, we all know that whether it's the internal customer or whether it's the customer coming in to the dealership, people just want to be known. And so that's your team, that's your customer walking in. And how, the more we cover the details of hospitality, the more we interact with them. And you know, I'm going to introduce something here because I think it's so important that we also realize how important it is that we have a routine. And that's why the process and flow is so important, and it needs to be a visual because it becomes ingrained within your team so that they can focus on the person and they can hear what's being said. They can give the information and gather it in the manner in which it needs to, and in a very, warm and friendly manner. I know someone mentioned earlier, I think it was Robert Sebastian, about leaving a flower, a rose on the seat. One of the things I love is giving them one when they come back, so that if there is any issue, you diffuse the situation. I think that's part of the training that people are needing, is how do you, in a creative way, diffuse and disarm anything that, is happening that does need attention. And it all comes back to trust and communication. We know those are the two foundations to a great culture. We know that trust is the absolute foundation. And the more that we communicate, the more we make it more than a transactional relationship, the more we're going to see people come back to the dealership, as well as long-term employees that, are just having fun and enjoying themselves. And that's what we want the whole experience to be for the internal and the external customer. So yeah, it's so fun to hear people talk about this. So it's exciting.
So Cindy has worked with some of the biggest companies in America about taking the experience that has been learned in retail dealerships and applying that. And Cindy's done some amazing work. I won't mention all the big companies, but one of the big companies got into retail, and you've been advising them and have done that over the past, and that's Walmart. Okay, Walmart got into the retail business of selling vehicles, selling used cars. Recently we've seen a lot of news out there about Carvana, right? And while they were riding high for a while, they're certainly not today. Okay, and do you think that the things that dealerships do, that retailers do, that you're hearing today on this panel, do you think that's easily replicated outside the dealership business, or is that pretty unique? The relationship that the dealer has with their community and with their customers.
I actually think it's a little bit more unique in the dealership. Dealerships tend to be more community driven, and you just have a smaller each individual store, even if it's a large group, you have a smaller group of people. And so you do have those opportunities to, have connection, and for it to be genuine connection. And as long as it's happening inside the dealership, that's one of the things I'm really big about is trust. And trust can actually be measured. I mean, one of the most important things to understand about it is that typically whatever your external customer is not being able to trust, it's because the employee cannot trust what is happening inside the store with that same information or that same idea. Wow. And it bleeds over. So if we can begin to dig up and really get honest and have open-ended questions and get feedback from our team, then we're able to really understand what it is that is actually causing the mistrust with our customers, and we can solve it that way. So yes, I do think it is more unique inside dealerships right now.
I love it. Robert, you work for a great dealership group, Carter Myers Automotive, and a great dealer, Carter Myers and Liza Borges, okay, who is, I believe, third generation? I believe maybe fourth, okay, at Carter Myers. But talk to us a little bit about their processes there and the importance of customer retention, Robert, and what you do. And you might be muted. There we go.
Oh, there we go. We good?
I think so.
All right. So yeah, it is a top-down situation with Liza through the company. It starts at the top and definitely goes all the way down. A lot of people talked about different things on here and culture and relationships, both with customers and with staff. And from our standpoint, our top leaders, gather us together monthly. So we have a corporate workshop once a month that's done for all employees, all 1,100 employees. That's an hour. And then the second week is all management and leaders. And then the third week is all general managers and top leaders. So training us and working together and living by that mantra of moving lives forward is something that, definitely comes from the top all the way down. And we all try to live with it, both moving our lives forward within the stores and then kind of chain down over to moving the customers' lives forward and taking care of them and building that long-term relationship.
And I've been following your journey, if you will, on social media. Today's day what, 150 some?
I'll be 157 today, I think it is. Yeah, I'm up in there, and again, that came through a mentorship program that we had through our stores here in the Valley that our executive manager Scott Simons does for us, and it's something that he takes a group in and just kind of go through everything from basic financial things to life, business, everything non-relational to working there, working on ourselves individually and growing ourselves. And it was a little kick in the butt situation. I said I wanted to get healthy, and they kicked me in the butt and said, well, let's do it. Let's get it done. And 157 days later, we're still at it.
Great. And you look great. And hey, Sean Butler, are you ready for me now? Hey, so Sean, listen to all these great leaders here tonight on the call, and I saved you for last. You and I were talking a little bit earlier about the gray hairs, right, and the experience. But listen to all the progress that our industry is making, and I know you've been involved in so much transformation yourself personally and with your stores. And even here on the Roundtable, these last 9 months, talk to us a little bit about customer retention and your journey.
Sure, I fully believe that that change begins within, right? When we're looking to see what we can do for others, and we get outside of ourselves, that's where it begins. And if you can do that from the top down, and you can transcend that into your shop, we just announced an employee bonus program that's going to go all next year, and then we'll pay it out on December 15th. I shouldn't say I did today in my shops. And then, we go with little things, right? Like get used to the customer experience, the employee experience, they transcend each other. When there's harmony in your dealership, in your shop, the biggest thing that we have to remember is that when people walk in, they don't see a parts department, they don't see a sales department, they don't see a service department, they see Bristol Honda. They see Johnson City Acura. They see I-10 Toyota. It all has to work in unity and harmony together. And when it comes to retention, I think one piece we've all missed out on or nobody focused on was the used car retention, right? You didn't sell a lot of new cars over the last couple of years. What have you done to retain your used car customers? We've focused on that, and it's grown our car count. I have I don't have any turnover. I'm not going to lie. Nobody's looking to leave, and if they are, I wish them well. I never hold anybody back from doing better. But it's about finding people's why. I believe Mr. Frazier said something about that, and then help them achieve what is important to them. Some people it's time off. Some people it's education. Some people it's recognition. Some people it's more money. Whatever it is, help them find it. Even if it's not with you, help them find it, and it will come back to you in the community.
Sean, I am so impressed at this panel tonight, okay? The folks that we've got on here, Robert Sebastian, Joe Clementi, Steve Hill, Cindy, John, Robert, yourself. I almost feel we got to make this a panel at the next Fixed Ops Roundtable. Just this panel right here, Sean. What do you think?
Yeah. That would be awesome. I've heard, we didn't mention the key buzzword that's coming up, the transparency.
Yeah.
But everybody here operates in an open manner. And, there's no secrets here. We're all looking to help each other. And that's what it's all about, is the spirit of community. And I believe that if we get that message out there, dealerships won't be known as dealerships because we're operating with honesty and integrity.
I love it. Well, let's invite this entire panel back for the Roundtable for January. And by the way, Katie, I agree, right? If only the rest of the world. Sean Butler, when is the next Fixed Ops Roundtable, the Wild West? What are the dates on that? Do you know?
Oh, my goodness. Now you're putting me on the spot. I believe it's January 23rd, 24th, 25th, and 26th.
Yeah, that's going to be a Monday through Thursday at the end of January. Now, Sean, how do we know that January 23rd date? How is that common to you? What do you think?
Oh, well, it's because Kara and my daughter Lily's birthday.
Oh, wow. Okay. So that's going to be the first day, January 23rd. And we are looking forward to that, everybody. Wild West, a huge event coming up. If you have not, for some reason, been on TikTok yet, I have to give us a shameless plug. Carol, TikTok, what's our platform on there?
It's Fixed Ops Roundtable. You can't miss us. We named it after the best group in automotive. So find us on TikTok at Fixed Ops Roundtable. And hopefully I can get Ted on there soon enough because everybody wants him on there, right, Ted?
Yeah, I'm hearing that. I'm hearing the drumbeat of that. And Kara, I'm amazed at how many people are on TikTok. I made the comment the other day, Robert, when I saw Brian Benstock on TikTok with that huge following. I said, "Okay, that's kind of the threshold moment there, right? Brian Benstock can do it. It's got to be Robert."
Absolutely.
All right. Well, everybody, thank you so much for tonight. This is an amazing panel, and I mean, I want to bring everybody back. Let's set a date and time and topic, and let's do that for the next roundtable. Robert Sebastian, thank you so much. Cindy Reynolds, a great joy to have you on. A star is born, right? So, Steve Hill, congratulations. Thank you for all the success you're having. Joe Clementi, what a great honor to have you in Mobility Works tonight. So, very honored to have you back. Got to have you back a lot. John Frazier, keep up the great work.
Thank you. Will do.
And Robert, thank you so much for all that you do. You've come on real strong, and we're all very proud of all the work that you do and love those daily posts, especially in the morning with your team, you know, the advisors out there. And
that's part of it, man. That's part of it.
I love it. And Sean Butler, it's a page out of your book, right? With highlighting your employees. So great stuff.
I'm all for it. The more the merrier. Come on.
All right. All right, Kara, what do we do now?
I guess we got to go, Ted. So thank you, everyone, for watching tonight. Thank you all that were on the screen with us. And on behalf of myself and Ted, thank you, everyone. And we will catch you next Monday for our special Christmas edition.
Oh, we have a holiday edition on Monday. And who's our featured guest, Kara?
It's you and I and Santa.
Santa is going to be
it's
here.
Not this Santa.
Okay. But I understand Santa is going to be here, and he's going to be letting us know. By the way, he'll be here on Wednesday next week as well. I know some of you will be back for that. We're going to learn which of our guests have been naughty or nice. So I'm looking forward to that. So, all right.
We shall see.
All
we'll
right.
see you on Monday.
Thanks, everyone. Have a good night.
Thank you, everyone.
Have a great night.